You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
We're reviewing another type of future film. Well, that's technically a past film, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But we're doing the post-apocalyptic sequel, slash reboot of Mad Max
Fury Road.
Right, and which is up for Best Oscar. And what else is it up for, sir?
Well, I do have that in front of me. Let me.
If you're looking for it, I've got it. It's also for Best Cinematography, Costume Design, Directing, Film Editing, Makeup and Hairstyling, Production
really?
Design. Yes.
Makeup and hair.
Sound. Yes.
Because Charlize Theron had no hair.
All right, it's makeup / hairstyling, so it's I'm guessing more makeup. Sound editing.
All right.
Sound mixing. I don't know what the difference is. Visual effects, and that's it.
So it's up for 9, 10?
9 or 10, something like that. Yeah.
10. Well, that's a good amount.
Sure.
But here's the thing: 8 of them are technical.
Yes, and it deserves those.
Yeah, it really does. And it's gonna win a bunch of them for the technical stuff. Editing, there is no fucking contest. This film gets the editing Oscar hands down. With the amount of action on screen, with the amount of fast action on screen, and the way it's completely seamless in this movie, there's absolutely... I don't care what else is nominated. This gets it. That's
now,
a guarantee.
Makeup, I think it's a tie between Mad Max and The Revenant, and I think it leans a bit towards Mad Max just because, as good as The Revenant is, I think some of the makeup is obviously makeup. Whereas,
right.
there's only so realistic you can make like wounds and stuff, but you still kind of like, well, yeah, but it's makeup.
Right.
And I think Mad Max kind of pushes that a bit beyond.
Sure.
With the makeup.
Just all of the the albinos, Morton Joe, and just everything that encompasses that.
Not taking away from The Revenant at all, but I think it kind of leans towards that.
Yeah, definitely.
But so it's up for a lot. Now, Best Picture, it's nominated.
Yeah.
And I still say, if it was 5 Oscar nominations, this one doesn't make the cut.
And just like I mentioned last episode, Miller gets nominated for director, and that's usually a very big indicator of what the 5 would be.
But usually doesn't mean definitely.
No.
And it's not. And honestly, it's not like every year the 5 directors always get nominated for Best Picture. There's always like a couple of switches. Usually the best director wins Best Oscar, but they're trying to break away from that, as we've said before.
But
I just feel this a sci-fi genre film don't think makes the final cut on a 5 film list.
I'm gonna disagree with that, and here's the reason why.
You're wrong, but go ahead.
I'm not wrong. It's incredible how many top 10 and top 5 lists that Mad Max made this year.
Oh no!
Based on that alone, I have to disagree with you that I do think that this would be one of the 5. I really do.
Sci-fi genre films, far and few between.
And it's a rarity. And this is one of those films that everybody that saw it absolutely fucking fell in love with it.
Right, but that doesn't equal Oscar nomination. Loving the film and Oscar nomination, two different things.
Well, obviously they went out of their way to vote for it because loving it did turn into a nomination.
Right, but because there's 10 slots now instead of 5. That's my point. And I'm just going to tell you right now, if people are voting knowing that there's only 5 slots, and if only 5 slots can make it, I guarantee you, Mad Max doesn't get it, The Martian doesn't get it, and between The Big Short and Spotlight, one of those drops to the side maybe.
No, I think both of those make it in. Or
maybe Brooklyn doesn't make it.
Yeah, probably Brooklyn doesn't make it.
Yeah. One of those 3. But
I mean people are calling Spotlight to win Best Picture. I know you're thinking The Room, but
when I've seen Spotlight already, so when we talk about it, I'll tell you why I don't agree with that.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be a future episode. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Right now, we're reviewing Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes. As I mentioned in 2 episodes ago, the nomination episode, Scott and Holly, they showed up for my birthday. It was a surprise, and we all went to go to the movies. We went to eat first, then we went to go see Mad Max. It was one of only the 2 films that I absolutely had to see in a theater that summer. The other being The Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I don't remember anybody taking me to a movie for my birthday. That was weird.
I want to say that's not true.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. But it was one of the 2 films that I absolutely needed to see, and it did not disappoint. Scott didn't like the ending. I had much less of a problem with it.
Spoiler alert, we'll wait till the end of the show to discuss the ending because I want to actually mention it.
Okay.
So spoiler alert, at some point before the end of the show, if you haven't seen the film yet, turn off when we start talking about the ending because I am going to reveal the ending.
Okay.
That's all. Nothing else major is going to get spoiled. It's it's a fun film.
So, basic plot of the film, not to get too deep and too long, the basic plot of the film is Immortan Joe has 5 wives. Okay? They're all fucking hot. They're like ridiculously hot.
Wait, this is a post-apocalypse world.
Yeah, but they're all it's like super hot, even in a post-apocalyptic with fucking radiation and all kinds of crazy stuff. They're like perfect. They're like models. But they're his. And that's his property, and that's his thing.
Because he raised them that way. Think of like Joe Piscopo, or Seinfeld, Seinfeld. Like they get the underage girls and they kind of model them and grow them into what they want to be. That's what this is, except in the desert after
Immortan Joe Piscopo. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Immortan Joe Piscopo.
He looks just like he does from Dead Heat, like at the end of Dead Heat. Anyway, Charlize Theron, who you get the notion that she used to be something that he maybe admired or loved, but he's hurt her in some way. Like she's got something against him.
I never got that at all.
You didn't take that? I took that away from the movie. That she's got something against him. Like there's some sort of like revenge going on. Like she's rescuing the wives, the 5 wives.
That I got.
Yeah. And there's a reason. 1, she wants to help them, but 2, she wants to fuck over Immortan Joe. Because
I get that too, but I never got the idea that she was like part of the harem at one point.
Not so much the harem. I didn't say that. Someone that he loved or cared about, but no longer does, and that he hurt her in some way.
Wow, I really disagree with you on that. I never read that at all from the film.
I get that feeling.
No, because she's out. No. I disagree. That's all. I got a different read on the film. It's film theory criticism. Everybody gets their own. No, I just disagree with that. That's all.
Well, I mean, I didn't look up anything, or it's just the feeling that I got that she's doing it for other reasons other than that she just wants to be, a good person and save the 5 wives. I think she wants to fuck. She wants to fuck over Immortan Joe because I think that he hurt her in some way.
I thought it was just because he's an evil overlord.
Yeah. And that he hurt her in some way.
I didn't get that at all from any point of the film. But keep going. But Anyway, she does that, and she runs into Mad Max.
She does that. She runs into Mad Max, who is actually captured by them first to be a blood donor, because all of them, they have like serious fucking health problems, so they need blood transfusions on a regular basis.
And stuff too, yeah. Injuries, you know.
So they actually hook up Max to one of the cars, giving a transfusion to one of them as they're driving. Like, he's basically a blood bag to them.
They call him that. They call him the blood bag, yeah.
Yeah, so, and they're, tattooing his back, saying that he's O positive, blood donor, and just all kinds of crazy shit. So, that's essentially the main plot of the story, is Max tries to help Charlize Theron, or Furiosa, that's her name in the movie, help save the 5 wives from Immortan Joe.
While all these other overlords from these different, like, weird post-apocalyptic cities... Yeah,
they have to drive through their regions.
Break them down. Now, the one reason I love this film over the originals, why I think it's so much better than the originals, is the film starts with this little homage. Like, not homage as much as like a recap. It's a voiceover, and normally I hate voiceovers.
But it works here.
What?
But it actually works here.
It works wonderfully, because it's a Mad Max voicing over, talking about, pretty much explaining just to the audience, just to set the tone. And again, normally explaining it, I'm against, but it really helps the whole film, because all it really does, the voiceover and like the following 5 minutes after that, just explains in a nutshell, after the world ends, the survivors lose their fucking minds.
Yep.
And it's, unlike the other 3 films, it really helps. It really does. Because it just prepares you. It says, listen, this is a world gone mad. Mad Max isn't the only mad person. And he says, I can't tell who's more mad, them or me. And so it really helps set that up, because then when you get like halfway through the film and they have like this army of like road killing cars driving through the desert after them, and one of them is a truck, and behind it they have a musician bungee corded to a giant speaker as he plays a guitar shooting fire, and all you think is, yeah, that makes sense.
I actually just had this conversation with someone the other day. It was, who it was? It was actually one of my friends. His name is Ted, and he's got a band called Mireman, which we actually played a lot of their music on the show that one time. And I was talking about that Mad Max. It's like, yeah, they got a guy in the front, and he's just playing guitar, shooting fire from it, and it's like, that's awesome. And you don't bat an eye. You're like, yeah, they're all fucking nuts.
Yeah, and that underlines the whole thing. Everything is just insanity. Everybody's lost their fucking minds, because, how do you really cling to sanity after you survive the apocalypse? And then so everyone's in insane, despots ruling without control are insane to begin with. Put them in post-apocalypse and fucking forget it. Yeah. So when they're driving these weird fucking behemoths and they have like the pole guys going, yeah, of course a madman thought of. And there's not one part where like, well, why would they do that? You're just like, yeah, of course they do that. Why wouldn't they fucking do that? Yeah, it's just everybody's fucking insane. It sells the rest of the film. It's so important. I love the beginning. It sets it up perfectly. And Mad Max is like, so he's mad, but it's like he's almost the sanest one there as well, and which makes him insane in the first place. And that's the great dichotomy with the Mad Max character. He's probably the sanest one there, which makes him a madman.
Yeah.
Really, odd man out, as they do the equation. So it's fucking beautiful.
And I love that they refer to gasoline as guzzolene. There's just like, there's no reason for it.
Little touches.
Yeah. But I just love it. It's guzzolene. Okay, I'm in.
Why not?
Why not, right? Guzzolene.
But, I mean, for a film to sell the insanity, it does it so well. And then after that does that setup, it never looks back. It never tries to explain why they would do anything. It just tells you, okay, there's a city over here. They make all the gasoline. They make all the bullets. There's 3 cities, and there's this desert, and we have this thing going, and you don't need to know more, because all that matters is you're just going to shit yourself every 10 minutes for the rest of this film.
Pretty much.
over the top special and
a lot of old school stunts. Yeah. They were using a lot of old school tricks. A lot of the stunts were real. Very few. The only times that they really use a lot of CGI for stunts and whatnot is like, okay, they're going to drive into this huge sandstorm. It's like, obviously that's CGI. And then they show all of the carnage and the chaos inside the sandstorm. Right. So it's like, that's CGI too. But once you step outside of that, it's just all real stunts. And it's very impressive.
It's insanely impressive. And like they have the one thing where they have the cars with these like 30-foot poles and there's guys on top and they're just swinging back and forth. And like your first instinct is like, yeah, of course it's CGI. And it's not. No. There's like these fucking circus performers on these cars speeding through the desert and they're just flopping back and forth with these fucking poles.
What's ironic, I don't know if you're actually watching that as we're recording it, but I have a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And that's the scene that they're showing, these guys on the fucking poles. It's just.
I'm not watching. I'm physics, so I just knew that was showing.
It's just okay. It's just real. It's I'm watching it now. It's fucking crazy. And if anyone's watching this with us, it's nuts. This is all real shit.
It's that kind of dedication. That's the only reason this film actually earns the nomination that it wouldn't have gotten if it was five films. Is because the amount of film craft. Getting that kind of real live stunt work done on that scale, like Hal Needham would just like weep. You know?
You know, it's funny. I was actually looking at his resume today.
If Megaforce had a $200 million budget, Hal Needham would have had those fucking pole guys going for no reason.
That's the shirt I'm wearing. There you go. Deeds, not words. There you go.
Oh my God. Say, when Google had the suffrage Google thing,
I posted that.
You posted that. What's great is that morning I looked at it and I thought to myself, "That's Megaforce," and I just kept going because I was busy at work. And then 2 hours later, I glanced at Facebook and you posted. It's like, motherfucker! Of course you thought the same thing. Yes. God damn it.
It's one of the many reasons we have a podcast.
Not to be weird, but. Brother from another mother, you know, right there. Shit like that is like, holy fuck, like separated at birth, man. I knew you'd fucking get that.
I was like, I've seen this somewhere else. Oh yeah. And
I saw, and I literally, I'm not even joking. I thought to myself, I'd love to post a picture of that with the movie poster at the same time, but I got too much work to do this morning. And I let it go. And then 2 hours later, oh, Joey did it. We're fine. Fuck yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I got 5 free minutes.
And please, I mean, I've been doing the covers, the banners on the Facebook page for a long time by my, just throwing them up there. And I just pick a picture from the movie and throw it up there. I don't get too fancy. I got to give you credit for the last episode when we did the forest, and then we talked about the Oscar nominees. You went fucking out of the way to do a great banner there, and I covered it up this week, so I feel bad. But when I first glanced, I was like, oh, he used a picture from the forest. I was like, wait a minute, he has like Oscar in there. It's like, have you seen my twin? It's like, oh fuck, man, you took time. I just jerk it off in like 2 minutes and throw it up there. It's like, oh yeah, here's a picture from the movie. Put it up there. And you're like photoshopping and shit. Like I felt like, oh man, I feel so guilty.
Don't do that. It's fine. I mean, I saw an opportunity that I had to take. I'm like, well, you know what it was? I'm like, all right, I have to put up that you did the review of The Forest, and I helped a little bit, but you saw the movie, and we talked about the Oscar nominations that episode. I'm like, well, how do I tie the two together? I'm like, should I just throw an Oscar in there with just the wording? I'm like, you know what? That hand looks like it could be holding an Oscar. And then I'm like, you know what? I gotta have her say something.
And also, by the way, last shot of the film.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not your fault.
I didn't know.
No, they show it in the trailer. It's open fucking game. I thought it was even funnier that you used that picture.
Oh,
but my favorite part
Well, I did that last week too. Like real quick, I did that last week too. I put up the Star Wars January Awakens. I put a little voice bubble for Rey. You know, I want to do that more often. So I don't know how often I'll do it during these Oscar reviews because I don't know how much we can do.
If I ever put a banner up and you want to put one over it, just fucking do it because I don't put as much thought into them as you do. So please, sir, please.
All right.
Now,
getting back to the movie.
For Mad Max Fury Road, my favorite part of the film, my absolute favorite part of the film is the part of the film where Mel Gibson doesn't have a cameo.
You know what?
I love that part.
Yeah, and if he does, like let's just say they put him in the crowd just so that his presence is somewhere in the film. They don't even list him in the credits. It's not even like he's not in the movie at all.
Nah,
but I was watching one of these behind the scenes, and George Miller was talking about how he was in meetings to do this next film, and they basically said, no Mel, no Max. And that turned out, obviously, it's not true. And with that said, though, as much as I loved this movie, I think Mel Gibson could have still done Mad Max. Absolutely.
I really feel like Mel Gibson was probably on the same page. I think he was like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit. I'm doing other stuff right now. Can we? Well,
Tom Hardy said that he had lunch with Mel Gibson, basically to talk to him about Mad Max, and he just kind of he kind of said he wanted his blessing, basically, which is a very nice thing to do, And Mel Gibson said, he passed the torch, and he was okay with Tom Hardy doing it. I'm sure, he probably really wasn't, but got over it quick. But
I'm not a huge Tom Hardy fan.
I like Tom Hardy. I do. And I like the movies that he makes. He makes good movies. I'm saying I could take him or leave him. That's all I'm saying. Would you have rather seen Mel Gibson in this then?
No, I'm just saying that I'm ambivalent about him. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a bad role. I'm not saying I didn't like him. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just kind of ambivalent. It's just like he's just a guy that keeps showing up in films. I'm like, okay, he's okay.
I mean, there's a reason why he keeps showing up in films because I find that he's a very good actor, and
I guess
he's very talented.
It's like when you get like somebody like Ryan Gosling, who's like popular, but then he does something like God only God forgives.
And Drive, sure.
And you're like, it's like, holy fuck! So he actually can act too, and it's like this little glimpse. Is like, oh wait, so he's not just like the latest actor, heartthrob, whatever. Like he actually is got some chops. I just never get that with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, well, he's not that kind of actor though.
He's not. No, I'll give you that. But I don't know. It's not a criticism against him. It's me. There's something about him where I'm always like, it's okay. Good. But I'm not, I'm not looking, I'm not signing up for the fan club.
Okay.
That's all. It's just personal.
I've enjoyed Tom Hardy in films ever since I saw him for the first time in Bronson. So.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't that film didn't move me. It was interesting.
I liked that film so much that I mailed Scott a copy, like snail mail.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did mail me a copy.
I mean, this is like 7, 8 years ago that I did that.
3 years later, I watched it.
You bastard.
You
probably watch it off my Plex too.
Yeah, and then I was like,
And that movie, it's like they took the theme music from Excalibur and they utilized it in the film. I loved it even more.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know that. But that's what's his face. The guy that directed Bronson is the guy that directed Only for God Forgives and Drive.
Right.
The same director.
You know what?
Refn. So his last name is Refn or something like that.
It's some weird shit. Yeah, that's what I love about you and me, though. You and I, though. You and me. That's what I love about me. That's what I love about you and me.
You and I think that's right.
Us. That's what I love about us. It's like you and I really have a lot in common movie-wise. That's why we gel so well, and we really agree with a lot of stuff. But stuff like Bronson, or like Fifth Element. Always there's that one little thin line where it's just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. It's like, yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm
It's
not like,
all right.
and then like stuff like Fifth Element, like, yeah, I love that movie, and I'm like, fuck that shit. You know, it's like that weird line. But it's so random that you can never predict the film where we're gonna clash heads with, like that fucking vampire film. Who knew that one little that one shitty vampire film would be like a lot that would like become the line.
Which vampire film?
You know which one? One with the umbrellas.
Oh, you're Daybreakers?
Daybreakers, that piece of shit. Yeah.
Well, I
that was,
didn't love that movie, but I didn't think it was as bad as you said it was.
No, you liked it. That's what.
No, I did like it.
That's when you were having your first child. We were doing the solo episodes back and forth. And that was one where you
that's right.
did an episode and you were like, I like this. And my episode solo was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. What? So I love that. You never know when we're going to split hairs. But Mad Max isn't one of them except for the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, special effects are great. I mean, the script is great. It's good. I mean, it's well written. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking.
It's not groundbreaking, but what they do is they take a lot of elements, special effects, and real stunts, and things like that, and nothing groundbreaking. But
right now, as far as screenwriting goes, I did have some qualms, like the whole thing of like show not tell. The third time they actually literally mentioned redemption in the film, I'm like rolling in my seat. Like, oh! You don't need to no, you don't need to say that. We know the film starts like that. Please stop saying redemption. Please don't mention it. Oh, she mentioned it again. Really? And right now, before the big final scene, why do you have to do that? So yeah, I have some qualms with that, and I know why. Because we're writing towards an audience that just wants to see the car crashes. I get that. Yeah. We're writing for the flyover states. I apologize if that's really wrong to say.
That is wrong.
But it is wrong, but it's also true. And I understand all that. So I do have qualms with the script as far as like being a bit too blatant, but the film is about the visuals more than anything else.
Yeah. So to finish my statement from before, it's where they take the visual effects, real stunts, none of that is groundbreaking, but they do take it to a higher level. Like the stuntmen on the poles, circus people. I mean, that real stunts like that it's not really groundbreaking. You go see Cirque du Soleil and see the same thing. But they utilize it in a movie where that's not really been done before to that extent. But it's just visually incredible.
I've said this in the past, too. When we talk about remakes, I've always said, don't remake classics. Remake the original low-budget shit films where they didn't have the money, but they still made something great. Yeah. And say, what could we have done with like a $200 million budget for that? And it's like, don't remake Casablanca, remake like an Elvis film, or remake a Roger Corman film, and say, okay, let's take this that gained popularity, but it was shot for like $50, and see what happens with $100 million. That's what this is. This is Mad Max. Okay, here's this cult classic that was shot on like a shoestring budget and is still popular today. What could they have done if we had taken that director, and they literally take that director and say, okay, here's $200 million, go fucking insane. That's what we need for remakes. Stop remaking don't remake E.T., remake Warriors of the Lost World, as a bad example. I'm just throwing a name out there.
Or just the Warriors.
The Warriors. Remake the Warriors. Give them a budget. See what they can do. Anything like that. Take that low-budget classic film and see what you can do with a big budget. And they do it here, and unlike The Hitcher, where they fucked it up, they did it right here. And
see, that's a movie that I think shouldn't be remade, because the Hitcher is so good. The one with C. Thomas Howell and Rutger Hauer. It's so good. how do you recreate those little nuances that between Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell? Just the sheer craziness, the how insane Rutger Hauer is, the Death Wish.
And
You can't recreate it.
I do believe as like leading up as we're going to keep mentioning it as we lead up to the 200th episode, but I do believe that the Hitcher remake is when Moviesucktastic was born. Because
I think so.
Because when the movie came out, I didn't see it. And we, you and I living apart, and I remember those things like it's like 2 years after the remake of Hitcher
I think I had just bought this house.
Yeah,
the house that we're in now. I think I had just bought this house. We were down here in my basement. We finally got together to watch the Hitcher remake.
Stop! You're losing a part of it because I told you at one point because we talk on the phone and stuff. I said, Joey, I still haven't seen the Hitcher remake because I can't watch it alone.
Yeah,
I need you there. I can't watch it with somebody that doesn't understand like you do why this film is going to be so bad. So please, so I held off like 2 years to watch the remake of The Hitcher until I could see it with Joey. Yeah, and so we're in his basement.
And God's honest truth, I never watched it before we watched it together.
It's just one of those, it's like there's nobody else I can watch this with. I need to see it with you, Joey. Please, you'll understand. And so it's like late at night, his house in his basement, in his little media room, and we're watching it, and we're just bitching and talking nonstop through it. And about halfway through, I turned to Joey, because I've been listening to podcasts. There's a couple things I'm listening to, and I'm following stuff. So I turned to Joey about halfway through, and I say, what we're like doing now, like just like bitching about this film nonstop, there people like record this shit and post it. You're like, what? Yeah, they podcast this shit all the time. Really? So yeah, we should do stuff like that because we're bitching about it anyway.
And I think at the time you said, yeah, we could do 100 episodes easy, and now we're going towards our 200th.
Right. I was like, yeah, why not? And then like a month later, we during a bad movie night at his house when we were showing Tron outside, we record the just say welcome to Moviesucktastic into the microphone and we'll slow it down on this. Like there's our opening. There. We should be doing this.
We've been using it ever since.
And it's the same fucking one. It's like one of the few things we haven't changed. And
the two things we haven't changed is that and the music, the theme music. Mm-hmm. Why change what works?
Because your cousin made that for a special. Right?
That's right. No, well, he didn't make it for a special, but it's original music. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
We also have a slow version of it, like it's called like Love Theme from Moviesucktastic that we never use.
We used to use it to end the show. Way back in the beginning. This is all shit we should be doing in the 200th. And we could do it again. But way back in the beginning, we used to use the theme music you hear now in the opening, and then the love music or the theme.
The love theme for Moviesucktastic.
The love theme for Moviesucktastic at the end. Yeah. Oh my. But anyway, back to Mad Max.
Mad Max. I mean,
I don't know how much we could actually talk about this. It's always hard to talk about movies you really enjoy.
Now, do me a favor. What's the number of the episode where we reviewed Mad Max originally? Find that out for me.
The original Mad Max?
No. What's the number of the episode where we originally reviewed Mad Max?
You mean Fury Road? I don't think we've reviewed Mad Max before.
Yes, we did. We did an episode after we watched it. I don't know if we did the full episode on it, but we reviewed it. We didn't dedicate too much time to it because everyone else was reviewing it. We're like, well, we're not going to spend 5 hours on this because everybody else is. But we have reviewed it in a previous episode. If you can't find it, don't worry about it. But anyway,
I'm telling you, I don't believe we have.
We have because you saw it for your birthday. We talked about it because we talked about the ending, and we're leading up to that now. But I mean, there's not much to say about the film as far as again. Special effects are amazing. The car chases are fucking amazing. The script is good, with some exceptions. But again, that's placating a simpler audience. They give you that. Not to sound too fucking snobbish, but it's true. But that's my last martini. But the ending. Oh my God, how I hate the ending. Now, do you want to describe the ending? Spoiler alert. This is where you want to turn it off if you haven't seen the film yet. I don't think it's going to ruin it for you too much, but please, Joey, explain the ending.
Okay, so after the grand chase back to where they started, basically.
Right.
They bring back what's left of the no,
Harem.
actually no, yeah, and Charlize Theron, she goes up like this chain link, kind of platform, and she kind of becomes the new leader at that point, or she does,
Yeah.
because of Morton Joe, no longer in the picture, to rule. Well, as she's looking down into the crowd, you see Max. You see Max just looking up at her. She's looking at him, and he just starts making his way through the crowd.
Fades into the crowd.
And fades into the crowd.
Fucking most cliche.
Then fade to black, credits.
I can't tell you how much I hated the fades into the crowd fucking ending. I hate it more than anything. There are some films it works on, like Times Square. It works in Times Square because there's a metaphor going on there that would take too long to get into here. This is just a fucking cop-out to give a happy ending to the film and to have Mad Max still be Mad Max in case we do a sequel. He fades into the crowds. Oh, now that everything's solved, he can't be a part of this because, he's like a loner and he can't handle this. And like, even though he's made everything right, even though redemption has been delivered, hey, you can't mention redemption 5 times and then go, well, I'm redeemed, but I'm still like, seeking redemption, so I have to keep going. No, you can't do that. You don't do that. I'm telling you, here's where I thought the film should have ended and where I want it to end. Before they make this final trek, because the whole thing is they're escaping the city, so at the last minute, they're like, you know what? We have to go back to the city. That's our that's where we have to survive, and they won't be expecting it. And they have this moment where they're sitting up on the hill, and it's like, we're not going to make it. It's like, yeah, like, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact words, but like, remember saying, yeah, we're not going to make it. It's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance. It's the end. This is the end of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Like, oh, there's like, what, 50, 100 out there? Yeah, okay. All right, well, we're going to go out there and shoot them. Yeah. And like, they're going into fucking, like, and you see like all the Mexicans everywhere. They're going to fucking die. Right? And say, we're going to go out there and we're going to do this, right? Yeah, right. And they go out there and it just freezes because they're fucking dead. That's how this movie should have fucking ended. It should have been, well, we know we're not going to make this, right? So, well, we got to try. And then, like, they drive off into the desert, and, like, that's it. Just like the dust cloud takes over the screen, and now you start rolling the credits. That's it. Suicide mission. We're giving up running. The only decision. Then, start the sequel whatever the fuck you want. But this whole, like, oh, now we're going to go back, and now they'll accept me as your leader, defying all kind of logic, and then I'm going to fade into the crowd. Oh, what a shitty ending for a great film.
I
know you disagree.
No, I do disagree. You are very passionate about hating that ending.
Now, admit
me
though,
on the other hand,
admit though.
What?
My ending's better. Admit it.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to deny that. No.
Okay.
That would be a really good ending. Sure.
That's all I ask. That's all I ask. My
now,
ending's
we did talk about Mad Max Fury Road previously. It was episode 176.
Thank you.
Where we reviewed Murders in the Rue Morgue and Dracula's Daughter. We were on this Bela Lugosi kick. Now, this is the synopsis for that episode. It says, couldn't get enough of Lugosi last week. We reviewed Dracula's Daughter, which Lugosi isn't even in. And Murders in the Rue Morgue. Also, Mad Max Fury Road is talked about. So we did do a short mini review for it.
And we were reviewing the Bela Lugosi films because I wrote a book on Bela Lugosi's some of Bela Lugosi's films. It's called Bela Lugosi. It's called what's it called?
Holy shit! It's called Performed by Lugosi.
Thank you. Performed by Lugosi. Martini number 3.
Third martini.
Third martini. It's called, and that 2's usually my limit, so we're good. It's called Performed by Lugosi. It's about a number of films of Lugosi's that he starred in except for the one he didn't. And that can be found on Amazon. Just do a search for "Performed by Lugosi." It's by S. Michael Wilson, pretentious first initial. And there's no ebook version of that yet because I'm working on it. So shut up. If you do purchase that copy and mail me a copy of it, I will sign it for you and send it back. I will pay for the postage because I'm a whore. So anyway, if I sell 10 copies of that on Amazon, I'm not making really money, so don't worry about it. I'm not trying to sell it for that. I just want people to read it. But that's besides the point.
Well,
anyway, third martini. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not around tomorrow for when you're holding your head. I'm going to be gone for.
No, that's the great thing about gin. I don't get hangovers from gin.
Oh, really?
I write when I'm drunk on gin. I write well on.
Nice.
Yeah, gin makes the man mean. I found my.
So why don't you do this? Why don't you write the synopsis for both of these tonight, so I don't have to.
No. But I mean, anything else to say about Mad Max? I mean, all you can really say is like, "Holy shit, the car crashes," and everything else is like kind of moot. It's just a great fucking
beginning to end. It's just balls to the wall. Just you couldn't ask for anything more in an action film or a Mad Max film.
It's got to win at least half the Oscars it's up for technical.
And I think
at least
it will.
Half.
I think it will.
Yeah, and it will because it really deserves it. It's just fucking
sound editing. There's no way it's not winning editing. I mean, it's just there's so much going on, and it looks perfect.
And you know what? This film proves that, like, you know, we review a lot of '80s films, like Exterminators and shit like that, where like they have no budget and they throw all this weird shit in there and it's like trying to make. This film proves that you can do that and make a great film if you just have a shitload of money and talent behind it.
Yeah, sure. There's $200 million movies that look great but are shit.
Now, if you have a shitload of money and no talent behind it, you get Prometheus. Well, if you have that talent, you get Mad Max. And again, like I said, this highlights the fact that movies like the original Mad Max, that's a film with no budget but talent behind it that knows how to make something out of nothing. And when you get somebody who can make something out of nothing, and then you let them make something out of something, you get something fucking amazing. Unless it's Peter Jackson doing King Kong, then you're jumping the shark and everything shits to bed.
Yeah.
But
what do you think his next movie's going to be? What's he in pre-production for?
Don't tell me. Please don't tell me. What is it?
I'm going to find out. No, you keep talking, Martini Boy.
How many times can I say, Shirley? Oh, and Mad Max, by the way, this whole backlash about the strong female lead, and we got a negative review for our podcast, Moviesucktastic, on iTunes from somebody who was pissed off that because we didn't shit can the new Star Wars film, and they were pissed off because we didn't shit can it because there was a strong female lead and a black lead, and so really, if you're not a misogynistic racist, you'll like our show. But if you are a misogynistic racist, you might want to go and like watch reruns of Glenn Beck.
Yeah, that's probably what you want to do.
Or send money to the
Pat Robertson,
the Bundy protesters in Colorado. I mean, take your pick. Is it Colorado or am I fucked up on that? Look who am I asking? You don't watch the news.
And I'm a better man for it.
No, you are. I'm not. No, that was not a criticism, sir. Please, you are the better man.
I didn't think it was Colorado.
It's probably not. I'm probably fucked up on that.
Anyway, the very next thing Peter Jackson is doing is The Adventures of Tintin, Prisoners of the Sun.
I fucking hate you. Right now, I flash back. I am 40. What am I, 42? I'm 42 years old. I can flash back to a young man of 18, 19, 20 maybe. collecting Fangoria magazine and cutting out the pictures from
it's Oregon.
Oregon. It was one of those two with the O. And I flash back to Fangoria magazine covering Bad Taste. It's Monty Python meets Reanimator, and like, oh wow, this is great. And it's like this love affair with same way I feel about Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith and him, same thing. And it's like, oh, this is great. And I seeing all like his older films in the theaters and being such a diehard fan of who are we talking about?
Peter Jackson.
Jackson. Being such a diehard fan of Peter Jackson and all this, and then he shits out this colossal turd called King Kong, and like all my love for this man like just like seeps out of my anus. And
yeah, it was really quick too, because he went right from like Lord of the Rings to The Lovely Bones.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry. He goes from Lord of the Rings to King Kong to The Lovely Bones, and it was like
worse,
straight bad to worse to. Then he goes back and he does the Hobbit films, which, for all intents and purposes, were pretty good. But it's the only thing he's really directed in the last, 15 years.
And I was for Lord of the Rings. I was there. And for the record, full disclosure, don't like Tolkien. Never read Lord of the Rings. Couldn't make it through The Hobbit. Not a fan. Not only did I watch all these films in the theater, I suffered through the 3-hour discussions afterwards with 3 people at a dinner table discussing the differences between the book and the movie. And I don't give a shit. It's just Peter Jackson's cool. I went through all of that supporting this man. And then he does King Kong. And I remember at my old job, the one that fired me for no reason whatsoever after 15 years of loyal service. And my coworkers saying, Scott, no one wants to read a 17-page review of King Kong. I was like, that's because you don't read the kind of shit I do. And that's can be found in my book, Monster Rally, which can also be found on Amazon.com. Author S. Michael Wilson. A nice 17-page review of King Kong that puts to rest any notion that film was anything but a colossal fucking turd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got a rant there. I apologize.
That's okay. Was that the... Was the 17-page review of King Kong, was that the one that I contributed to?
No.
Or no? Okay. Because we were doing something for the show that we were going back and forth with. I don't know if that ever made the light of day. I know we did the Superman Returns one.
Oh, that's stuff for the book, the Moviesucktastic book that we keep working on and never get anything done on.
Yeah.
No, the King Kong review. You did contribute to. Well, you have a review in the Monster.
The UFO.
Yeah, the UFO one. That's your name on that. You did that.
Yep.
And we were contributing on reviews for the book. We just haven't got around to it because we're both, you got a family and I've got shit, and and that keeps the both of us busy. And I have a family, just not on paper.
There you go.
You're legally
it's the best kind.
Yeah, no. Technically, I can just move to
Leave.
Alaska right now.
Or you could just live 4 houses down. Do an about face. There you go.
Change the locks, and
this isn't my locker.
My exit strategy is a lot smoother than yours. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yours involves lawyers. Mine involves locksmiths and a lack of care.
Yeah, mine involves money, lots of money, probably some therapy for my children.
And all mine involves is, and that's it. Not that that would ever happen, of course, because I'm very happy with the situation.
Of course.
But if I wanted to pull the plug on it, it'd be so fucking easy.
Oh shit.
But I haven't, and I wouldn't, and that's what's important, and that's what makes what I have more real than yours. No, I'm kidding.
You've had a lot of martinis.
At least 3.
At least 3.
Anyway, so that's a review for Mad Max.
Now next week.
hang on. I have to back up because we just did a review for our last show. We did a review for The Martian.
Yep.
And now we're reviewing Mad Max. One thing we didn't do on the last show, and we need to catch up with this one, is we didn't rate The Martian on IMDb.
Ooh, you're right. Now that's currently rated very high. I think it's like 8.1 or something.
Yeah, now, what would you rate The Martian, sir?
I think an 8. I'd be fine with an 8. I liked it that much.
I'd be fine with a 7. But I'll go 8 because it is well done.
Yes.
8? You agree on 8?
I agree with an 8.
All right. I'm doing 8. Oh, I got to sign in. Fuck you. Hang on a second. Oh. I'll sign in with a base. No. What the fuck? I was signed in before. What are you doing? All right. Hang on. Log in. Holy shit. No, I'm logged in. All right. Hang on. 8. 8 stars. Reviewed. It's not even worth doing the
demographic.
It's like fucking 7 or 8 across the board. It's not even worth it. So then Mad Max, Fury Road,
rated at 8.2.
What would you say for this? I'm obviously not going to do a 10 because of the fucking ending.
No, and I agree with that. I mean, I could go 9 on that easily. I would not go lower than an 8. Period.
I wouldn't go lower than 8 either. But is it fair to give it a 9 or?
Because you hated the ending. I don't think it's that bad. A 9, I'd be comfortable with a 9.
The only reason I'm comfortable with a 9 is because cinematography-wise and just the stunts and the coordination, it's fucking flawless.
It really truly is. Yeah.
Really. So just based on that, it's like if you're going to give Lawrence of Arabia a 9 because it really, they do the desert scenes and all that, then this deserves a 9 for everything it did here. So I'm going to say 9 too.
Cool. Excellent.
I feel a little guilty saying 9, but we'll go with 9. And then the demographics on this is probably the same thing. You know what? The only thing I see that's remarkable is that if you break it down by age, the highest demographic is ages 18 to 29, 8.3%, and then it slowly downgrades to females aged 45 and over, only give it 7.2. So elderly women, film wasn't made for you, and we knew that before we saw the demographics. So males aged 18 to 29, definitely your game. That's why you have the top demographic. That's the only. Yeah. Other than that, IMDb staff gave it 8.5. Who gives a fuck? Really? Yeah, you really broke the curve there.
There you go.
And I'm mean to the IMDb staff, but that's just because they're there. I apologize.
Well, they kind of deserve it.
They do. That's why I say it. But that's why my apology is hollow and not heartfelt.
There you go.
But it's still legitimate on paper.
There you go.